Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Ifanaja and today I will present about psychopathy, homicide and sexual offending in forensic psychology. To explain this concept, I will use the Malaysian case of the murder of Kenny On. In this presentation, I will explain the relationship between psychopathy, homicide and sexual offending. I will also show why forensic psychology is important in understanding criminal behavior. At the end, I will apply all these concepts to a real Malaysian case, which is the Kenny On case from 2003. Psychopathy is a personality disorder that is often linked to criminal behavior. It is measured using a tool called the PCLR, which look at interpersonal traits, emotional traits, lifestyle pattern, and antisocial behavior. Not all psychopaths are violent, but psychopathic traits can increase the risk of aggressive and sexual offending. There are four main categories of psychopathic traits. First, interpersonal traits include calm, lying, and manipulation. Second, affective traits include a lack of remorse and shallow emotion. Third, lifestyle traits and invoice impulsive and irresponsible behavior. And last, antisocial traits include aggression and criminal act. These traits are often seen in offenders who commit violent or sexual crime. In forensic psychology, homicide can be divided into two types. First, instrumental homicide is planned and goal-driven. Second, reactive homicide is impulsive and emotional. In the Kenny On case, the offender showed a mix of both. He acted out of opportunity, but he also reacted out of fear that the victim will report him. Sexual offending can happen due to different psychology factors. These include cognitive distortion, whether offenders justify their action. There is also the desire for power and control over the victim. Some offenders act opportunistically when they see a vulnerable situation. Impulsivity and lack of self-control also play major roles. The dark triad refers to three personality traits: psychopathy, narcissism, and machiavellism. These traits include manipulation, lack of empathy, and a sense of entitlement. They are often linked to aggressive behavior, sexual offending, and violent crime. The Kenny On case show characteristics relate to psychopathy, which help explain the offender action. Now I will explain the background of the case. On the night of 13 June 2003, Kenny On was abducted from a parking lot in Bangsa. She was a 28 years old IT analyst. The offender, Ahmad Najib, kidnapped her, sexually assaulted her, and then killed her. Her body was later burned and left in a roadside hole. This case shocked the nation and became one of Malaysia's major forensic cases. From a profiling perspective, the offender showed opportunist behavior. He targeted someone who was alone and vulnerable. He acted impulsively and had no empathy for the victim. He used violence to silence her so that he will not be identified. This behavior matched psychopathy, related traits seen in sexual and violence offenders. In this case, several risk factors were identified. The offenders had a high risk lifestyle and possible involvement with drugs. He showed antisocial tendencies and poor self-control. This factor increased his risk of committing serious offenses like sexual assault and homicide. Forensic psychology also play a role in the investigation. Techniques such as behavior interviewing and crime reconstruction were used. The offender behavior helps police understand the sequence of events. DNA evidence and the crime scene findings were supported by psychological interpretation. A psychological evaluation showed that the offender was mentally stable. He understood his action and their consequence. He was convicted of rape under Section 376 and murder under Section 302. The court sentenced him to death, and his punishment was carried out in 2016. These cases show how forensic psychology helps in understanding motive, interpreting behavior, and supporting investigative decisions. It also helps the court evaluate responsibility, intent, and risk. Overall, this case is a strong example of how psychology supports law enforcement. In conclusion, the Canyon case showed the connection between psychopathy, sexual offending, and homicide. The offender behavior reflects impulsivity, violence, and lack of empathy. Forensic psychology play an important role in explaining the offender mindset and supporting the investigation. That's all from me. Thank you.